white. I think it's good for him. He is white. He won't get in trouble in the opening, and he changes to the French defense after Kramnik invites it. Kramnik, of course, a walking encyclopedia, can play any opening, but French defense, usually not one of his favorites. Still, he found a way to make Gukesh think early with his move Queen B6. Knight A4, the main move here. But I'm very surprised Gukesh went to E4, because I don't think these E4 positions are his natural habitat. Queen D2, rare move, pawn sacrifice, very aggressive by Gukesh.
It is, and Gukesh allowing it. Now the rook must come to. Does it come? It comes to B1, right? And then you jump in with a knight to B5.
Queen takes A2. I think Gukesh might have mixed up the lines here. This is not the position where you do this. I think he confused it with C takes D, knight takes D4, and then Queen B6. Vladi outfoxed his young opponent in the opening yet again.
Well,
but of course, far from over. For now, it's 2 pawns. The knight fork, knight C7, king D8 doesn't do anything because the rook on B1 is also attacked. And it looks like Gukesh has really messed up earlier.
Well, Gukesh having a think. He is 2 pawns down, and now, well, his clock is under 4 minutes.
Also gave up his time advantage. Yeah, this has not gone well. Rook C1. Not the move you're dreaming of making, but at least now he's threatening the fork. Kramnik sidesteps with the rook.
He might as well just throw in that check just to make the black king uncomfortable, and then return and say, hey, I've taken away your castling rights. And taking a look at the heart rates, because that's such an interesting fact. Vlad around the 134 mark, whereas Gukesh, in comparison, was around 100. And, well, throws in bishop E2, getting ready to castle. And, well,
it's just 2 pawns down.
He is just 2 pawns down.
Not an ideal situation. Bishop to B4 could maybe force the queen exchange, and this is borderline hopeless already. He might win 1 pawn back on A7, but even then he's left with a horrible endgame. And I'm not even sure you get that pawn after bishop to C5. So Kramnik once again using all his routine in the openings, and I don't like Gukesh's decision to enter the French if he's not a specialist in these sharp lines, because Kramnik knows everything. You can't take him out of book.
Yeah, but in fairness, we have to also say Kramnik choosing some rare, well, not rare lines, but more unfamiliar lines.
Yeah, but that's the problem. You shouldn't allow him to choose anything too unfamiliar where it can hurt you too much.
And we see now Gukesh under Kramnik's clock time, and we have to remember Kramnik started with 1 minute less. Okay, some threats on the board. Knight takes knight, big threat, followed by knight C7.
Yeah, it's a nice little move, at least making Kramnik think.
And Kramnik
looks rattled for the first time. His position is completely fine, he can just castle. But yeah, he took a moment there.
He did. And did you see Kramnik's heart rate spiked to 143?
Yeah, you could see it on his face too.
This is Armageddon, taking chess back to the streets. I love seeing the emotion on the players.
Heart rate monitors on the streets though?
Yeah, they do. Everyone's wearing these wristwatches that monitor
that is true, actually.
The heart rates. And okay, there the knight jumps into
Gukesh
D6.
is fighting here. He is a tremendous fighter. He gave Kramnik a head start in the last 2 games. But it's only 2.5 minutes, which is not an eternity.
No.
You can see Kramnik showing some nerves here as well, even if he would be 2 pawns up with this Kraken sitting on D6 there. This won't be the easiest of conversions. Gukesh fighting very, very well.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. The position is not easy for black on account of this bad French bishop. Bishop's parked there on C8. It's not getting out so easily.
Kramnik's wondering which piece to take, or if he can ignore it and just play a move like pawn to B6. But he does take the knight, decides it can't be tolerated, and gives a pawn back on A7 in order to activate his rook. Probably a good practical decision. The knight threatens to jump into E4, giving a check.
Okay, the king comes forward. And now B6 played. Well, I like the way that Gukesh is playing. You know, he's creating maximum discomfort to Kramnik. Now the rook is threatening to take the pawn. And Kramnik, ooh, he doesn't even defend it. That's...
He's counter-attacking as the d6 pawn, but he has to calculate. If the rook takes the pawn now, Kramnik takes the white pawn. Maybe there are some questions to be asked, although I don't really see it. Looks like Kramnik still has it under control.
Yeah, he might still be in control,
Oh,
but...
there's a check. Knight f5 check.
There is a knight
Or
f...
rook b7, both work.
But what worries me is the clock time, because the position is still sufficiently complicated for things to go wrong in the ensuing pandemonium. And Kramnik, well, he's now under 2 minutes.
Gukesh very practical, of course he understands he's in trouble, but he's making moves quickly, giving nothing easy. Yeah, I love how he's fighting here, he's such a tremendous player.
And can he make a move like rook f7? And do we see Kramnik?
Happens, but he has to give one pawn back. And although white is in a must-win, doesn't mean that black has to get checkmated. White can just continue playing, and Kramnik has to complete the game within the 1 minute he has. So this is not easy at all yet.
No, not easy at all. And there we see Kramnik go forward with his pawns.
He's trying to force an equal situation. Gukesh could have taken the knight on c4 now, but he prefers to keep a little tension, even though that means he's worse.
And, well, he has ideas of playing rook a7, and there we see it. And Kramnik,
Oh,
c2.
you can see Kramnik, his hands start shaking a little bit. Now the threats are appearing.
Okay, he overprotects his rook. I
Yes,
like this
rook.
decision. Don't invite any complications. Play safety chess. And
Tough spot for Gukesh. Probably he should keep his g-pawn and advance it 1 square, for then Kramnik could simplify further. Good move.
It is a
Gukesh
good
has
move.
to keep putting pressure. Make a move. You're worse. You should at least keep the clock in check.
Well, he still has a time advantage over Kramnik. And Kramnik also taking time out to make space for the
It's
king.
too slow. I know I keep saying this, but that's because they keep playing so slowly.
Now, moving the rook back. And Gukesh
Now he's speeding
keeping
up.
all the pieces on the board, and still
It's a nice move.
it doesn't matter about the quality of the moves here. It's just about the simplicity, the ease of play. And Kramnik picking up the pawn on c3, and now he has 28 seconds to see whether he can hold this position or...
Oh, bishop d4, nice move, blocking of the knight, and bishop b5 picks it up. He's blundered, and Gukesh is gonna win the knight, and I believe the game.
And
So much drama, but probably Kramnik felt like, okay, the hard work is done. There, he didn't place his pawn too precisely. Keeps pressing the clock, and Gukesh says you can't do that.
is he calling over the Arbiter?
Yeah, it's the
I think
second
so.
time Kramnik did it, and Gukesh, I like that he's standing up for himself. He's saying, you can't keep throwing the pieces around. Please do something about it.
And here we have Tanya Karoli, and she will consult the footage and also come to a verdict. So Gukesh, as Jan's saying, is claiming that Kramnik has made 2 infringements.
Yeah, we've seen it, but I'm not sure what's happening. Looks like the Arbiter said, okay, continue, leave me alone. And Gukesh still with a big advantage here, because he does have more time, and now he also has the extra bishop.
Yes, but take a look.
He has to be careful
win.
to keep his pawn, and Kramnik keeps not exactly hitting the squares.
Oh, bishop takes
there.
bishop. Okay, now the job is easy for
Gukesh does it. What a
Ooh.
comeback after being 2 pawns down.